Everyone, my name is Ezel Frazier, and I'm showing you guys something I've been working on for a few months for the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I like to call it the deck optimizer, as it uses what is known as linear programming to find the most optimal solution mathematically for a deck. And it pretty much is built on the basis of card advantage. So this isn't like a one. There's no catch-all for deck building. You really have to go with your gut. But if you just want to just put together a deck and you want to get the card ratios in a good spot based on your own personal preference as to what you want, as well as just letting math handle the rest. I think this is like a cool balance between just balancing out card advantage once again and what you really want to play first, what you really want to have in your opening hand, what you don't want to top deck, and so on and so forth, as well as disrupting your opponents. So this tool will help build an optimal solution for you to just play test, and then from there you can make further tweaks going on from there. So right now you can see me just I'm testing it out. So this is a Kozmo deck. I don't play Kozmo. In fact, I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh with actual cards. I have some Yu-Gi-Oh cards from like I don't know how old these cards are. I mean, I have like Change of Heart, Pot of Greed, the Masked Beast, like a ritual card. I don't even think I have the ritual spell. Um, Relinquish, Dark Ruler Hades. Just a lot of old cards just sitting over there, which I don't think have any value. Cyberjar. I think like all of these cards are banned. But I do play YGO Pro or Dev Pro. I play that pretty frequently. I think it's really cool. I don't know how these guys have done it, but it's just really cool to just get back in the game and just play it casually. I don't think I would ever be good enough to go to like an event or anything of that sort, but if I can create something that can help people who actually do go to these events and they're really competitive, I think this application will get you somewhere in that direction or uh, save some time in terms of just testing out decks. So I'm just gathering all the Cosmo cards that I think would I think all the Cosmo cards in the TCG at the moment. I think there won't be any future support for the deck, but if not, it is what it is. So as you can see, all of this is done in Microsoft Excel. You will need Microsoft Excel to use this tool, which will be available in the description below. But it's really simple. You don't need to know how to use Excel really in any capacity. Excel, once you open the file, Excel will ask you, hey, would you like to enable macros, and would you like to enable, I think something like you download the file and it'll say, hey, this might be unsafe for you to use. You kind of just want to click through it. And after that, you do actually want to hit like Alt F11 to enable the solver plugin. You also need that. I'll go ahead and include some links below in the description if you want to know how to run, to just get everything set up for you to just play around with. Um, but just to go on as to what I'm doing right now in the video, um, you saw me just copy and paste all the card names, and right now I'm just tweaking what I think is card advantage. I think card advantage is a tricky, not a tricky, but it can be ambiguous. It can be whatever you want it to be. I kind of look at card advantage as how many cards can I place on the field and either remove or take away from my opponent, or add more cards to my hand. Either I'm placing a card on the field, or I'm placing a card in the graveyard, or banishing a card. I'm getting something back each and every turn, and hopefully I can just outlast my opponent in some capacity. And I think even though the game is still just based on removing or just decreasing an opponent's life points down to 0, I think it all comes down to card advantage. As that's important. That's almost as important as getting your opponent's life points down to 0. It doesn't really matter about card advantage if you can't put any damage on the board, or you can't inflict any damage in some way. I guess you can. You can have Exodia, or you can just simply deck out your opponent or something. But that's not what this tool is about. I guess you can actually. I mean, you can make it do whatever you wanted to do, mathematically speaking, as well as empirically. But right now, I'm just tweaking the card advantage. Like I really don't play Kozmo a whole lot, so I really play against it more often than I do play it. I don't think I just the deck is so sacky. I don't play it. It's just boom, it's OTK. You're done. So, but I do like the way that it's constructed, the way the cards are designed. So how I kind of look at it, the ships, the floaters, everything just kind of floats. So the ships are like a neg 1 since you lose a pilot, but the ship comes in, and if it's destroyed, it floats into another ship, and it just goes all the way back down to a pilot. So you don't really lose anything. You gain things because the ships are either destroying cards or destroying back row. So it's either a +2 at the worst and a +3 for some of the other cards like Dark Destroyer or Dark Lady. I shouldn't say +2 or +3. I guess it's like about a +1 or +2 in most cases, like just continually each turn. And for how I look at card advantage for continuous spell cards and field cards, I look at it just as it's not a neg 1. It's just a 1. It's just +1 because you're either gaining effects from it virtually, or your opponent has played something to remove it. They invested resources into removing that card, so you've gained something from it either way. And in most cases, it's continual, but I only look at it as a 1-turn basis to calculate that. And the cool thing that I added here in the tool is that I have my own personal rating scale here. So if a card this is where you can kind of customize a deck to how you want to play it outside of the math itself. So if you're saying, yes, I want to play this card based on priority, then prioritize this card first. Don't put in other cards that I don't want to play over a card that I say yes. So if I say meh, don't really play the card. If I have extra space in the deck and it won't hurt anything, fine, put it in. But if not, stay away from it. And if I just leave it blank, or if I just write in no, that means just don't play the card at all. I don't even know why I have it listed. And finally, if I say lock, then you play the card no matter what. So that's a cool feature. You can just lock a card in. And I also added this other thing to it, so you don't win too many brick cards. That's my number one issue with deck building. I think when it comes to high level monsters or decks like this, where you need high level monsters, you want to get a good ratio of cards. So how I categorize brick cards are cards that can't be played immediately, just boom. Like, so high level monsters, obviously, unless they have some method of special summoning directly from the hand, with just some cards are just like that. Like, for instance, I believe like the Tricky, or actually that's not entirely true. Like Cyber Dragon is a better example. It can just it's a tribute summon monster, but for whatever reason it can just special summon. It's an inherent effect of the card. Normal summon monsters, or monsters that can be normal summon, I also consider to be somewhat bricky, so I write kinda. You know, it's either yes, it's a brick, or kinda sorta, because you're only allowed one normal summon per turn. So I always write that. And also for spell and trap cards, that well, trap cards are bricky because you have to wait a turn. You have to put it on the field. It's subject to whatever your opponent wants to do for that moment being. So I don't want too many of those cards in my hand as well. And also for any spell cards that require some other card, the functions such as 1-for-1, where you have to discard one or trade in. Even a card like MST, if you set it, you have to wait a turn. And finally, we all need disruption cards, and I also have that there. So, but you see me, I click the button here, it's done. It creates a new sheet, and that's the deck. And immediately, I look at it, and I don't like what I see. I don't like the ratios. It has a good ratio of ships and pilots, but I don't want 3 landwalkers. I mean, it's a great card, but I don't want 3 of that. That's not what's gonna push for game, and that's what Kozmo's about. So I go ahead and change the priority of Dark Destroyer and Sliprider, and I say just lock these cards in, and whenever you hit lock, generally the deck optimizing tool will just automatically run 3 of those. And the cooler thing about that is you can, if for whatever reason a deck is just locking in too many cards, or you chose to lock in so many cards and it's just running 3 of them, generally it will autocorrect itself. If you have too many brick cards, like it'll just leave out cards that you locked in, and from there you're gonna have to make some cutbacks. And 2 ways you can do that: you can change the ban list, not the ban list, but not. I wish you could change the ban list. I would have change of heart unlimited, but you can actually reduce the amount of cards, or the limit of cards that you want to have played. So you can see the quantity of cards on the left hand side there, and you can actually change the total amount of cards maximum that you want. It's over off to the right next to, I think, pendulum scale. None of these cards are pendulum monsters, but I do have just a column there for any pendulum monsters that I might put in the deck. So I'm pretty much wrapping up here. I was actually gonna jump in and do a monarch deck, but I think I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap it up here. And tell me what you think about it. Is it a cool tool? Should I do more? Should I put it out there for you guys to play around with? But yeah, I'll put it down there in the description. So just let me know, and if you like the video, just give me a thumbs up, leave some comments. Just let me know, man. Let me pick your brain.